Hello, everyone. This is nycboom coming from the Double A Club podcast. You can catch us on Spotify, Iheart Radio, and Amazon Music. Again, we're going to continue our web series on dealing with alcoholism, and I have a special guest with me. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jason. Originally from the Bronx, right now reside in Massachusetts.
Good, let's go, Boston.
Let's go, Yankees.
Hey, I'm a Viking fan.
But just really wanted to touch on the topic of alcoholism and, just bring a little bit of experience, personal experience or whatever. I've been struggling with it for 30 years. You know what I mean? Just recently, February, just suffered a heart attack that just really just set everything in perspective more. All the times I tried to go, at least I made attempts to go to rehab, but it was never for myself. It was always for someone else. It was for, all right, I'll do it. And when you do it for yourself, it's a different thing. You feel like, you can't affect anyone in your family. You can't touch the people that you hurt or anything unless you fix yourself. You got to fix yourself first and care about yourself first before anything, and until, I really started caring, it didn't really matter. I was a functioning alcoholic because I was always working, managing a liquor store, and so it just became gradual, that and working in bars and things since I was since way young, since about 18 years old. I went through so much trauma living in New York. It turned me to so much so young. Back, if you remember, Alberto, you remember like the stop and frisk law and shit.
Oh, the one that fucking Mayor Giuliani passed? Oh my gosh.
So, like, I was a teenager. You remember, man. Yo, shout out to your entire family. You and your brother, Alberto. Yo, you guys are freaking family to the day I die. Because there were days that I was homeless and and y'all put a freaking a roof over my head for the night. I'm forever grateful for y'all.
No problem, man. It was also my mom's doing too. She didn't like to see people struggle.
It was difficult because before that I was young out in the street. So when I ended up, I was out with no ID, no you get stopped with no ID, stop and frisk for whatever fucking reason, you going to jail. So I would go to jail all the fucking time. I'll end up in Central Book in 4 days and as John Doe, and all these cases will fucking go in front of me and I'm still sitting in jail because I didn't have a fucking ID. And there's no way to get an ID without Social Security, there was no way to get anything, without one thing to start everything. You understand? You need a Social Security, you need a birth certificate. You don't have that, you don't have shit.
And you didn't have that.
So I was always going to jail. I would get a job. People like, oh, get a job. I'll get a job. You get a job on a 90-day probationary period. Guess what? I'm trying to go to work. I get freaking stopped. I'm locked up. Guess what? No show. You're fired. Okay? And then they look at your record. You would get caught. Freaking as a youngster with like less than freaking $20 worth of weed, and freaking end up in jail for for the longest. You know what I'm saying? And it was constantly. I ended up with like 30 something, freaking almost 40 something arrests, and there was just mostly no identity because I had no ID. And like it traumatized me to the point I was like, damn, I just get a job and I'm fucking fired the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like I come out, they don't want to hear anything. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of getting arrested, guess what? You got a criminal background. You know what I'm saying? So it was impossible. I was like, yo, you gotta be fucking kidding me. There's no escape from this shit. And all I knew from young was, just to escape everything was alcohol, because it was everywhere. It was so easy to get to. And I started working. You remember Ering's Tavern? I used to work in the bar, so I was like freaking 14 years old, freaking around adults drinking and shit. I'll see them best friends, buddies, freaking chilling on freaking St. Patty's Day, and they're cracking each other over the head with a mug at the end of the night.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I just saw so much at a young age when I was working in the bar, being around alcohol, and I was always around it. And it was my only escape. When I ended up homeless as a teenager, that's all I turned to. It was just make everything disappear. You know what I mean? And then I just became a functioning alcoholic because my body keep going. And then when I just didn't want it, I started getting sick. I was like, damn, I don't feel like drinking. I'm tired of this life already. Like, I don't want it. And I got really, really sick. And I had to go to detox like 4 times in 1 year. You know what I mean? Like, it's an everyday battle. Everyday battle for anybody that goes through any kind of addiction. It ain't just alcohol, man. I go to STAR program in Fall River. They're the most amazing people. They help with people with every type of addiction. And I met brothers and sisters. We're all the same. I used to be young and stupid when I was a kid and be like, oh, that crackhead over there, and say stupid and ignorant things like that. And now when you see people, when they struggle from addiction, it's sad. There's nothing funny about it. That's somebody's mother, that's somebody's kid, that's somebody's father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just different when it touches base. And then, I turned my whole life. I said, damn, I've always tried to be better. And the only thing, I fought everything, Alberto, everything. I've been shot twice. I've fucking been to the point that I almost died in car accidents that I wasn't even driving. Other people were driving. I got hit by a car. And it took me a year to walk again. And I beat everything. Like nothing. And the only thing I can't beat is this addiction. And that's just real.
A lot of people don't know that the alcohol, even though it's legal, it's one of the worst things to detox from compared to other drugs, and it's killed more people than all types of other drugs.
You're dead right with that, because when I came out, the nurse told me, she said, you have no idea, there's more people that overdose from alcohol than heroin. And it stuck with me. I thought heroin was like the number one, like people overdose all the time until they found Narcan. Like now I'm Narcan certified for all that. I go to programs. I want to help everyone that has an addiction, because there's always hope. But you have to want it for yourself, and you have to have the right people around you.
Yeah.
You can't be surrounded by all negative people if that's the case, But there's one thing that I do learn: you can't do it by yourself.
No.
I try to do that. I try to do it for so long, and it doesn't work. You need a support team. You need people around you.
So, who is your support team?
My family. I have groups that I go to, STAR as well. I also go to IOP, which is it's intense occupational it's intense outpatient program. That's what it is. It's when you come out of detox, they put you in programs, they give you classes and stuff, and then they have a mental health and a substance abuse class. And so it's either or.
Do you think that do you see that those programs are really helping you?
Let me tell you something. if it wasn't for them, I'd be in a worse place because I would never feel I had a place to go to, a place to try to even get help. I would have still been doing it crazy, you know, and just killing myself and not knowing that, because I've been to other places and stuff, but they didn't help, you know. This place has the nursing staff, and the time you go in, they're amazing. The counselors that they have, most of all the nurses are there, and the counselors are former addicts, so they relate to the people amazing. You know, they know firsthand, and it's not somebody just coming off straight out of college and telling you out of a book, you know, how you feel. How does anybody know how you feel? You know what I mean? Unless you've went through it.
Yeah, and I know when I was working in the jail, the detoxing the detoxing process for people who were detoxing from alcoholism.
That shit must be nuts.
Was horrible. Was horrible. I mean, like, seriously horrible. It's one of the. It is. I think it is the worst detoxing process in the world. I mean, like, there's no other drug that you can detox that's just like that strenuous to the body. I mean, people died from detox. I got stuck on it's horrible. I got stuck on in because I didn't have a ticket, and I would never go to pay my thing, so they sent me to Rikers, and that's when I first went through my first experience of detox, and it was horrible. Like, I literally yeah, explain how it went for you.
I would literally leave the whole fucking sheet. I'm sorry, my language. I would leave the whole, my entire thing soaking wet and be shaking at night, shivering and cold, and it was horrible, like horrible.
Did you have hallucinations?
Hell freaking yeah.
Like, well, what did you hallucinate? Do you remember?
I would see colors and shit, and in and out, and just in and out of and just restlessness.
Yeah.
Just uncomfortableness. It was horrible. And the worst thing is the you get cold. You get hot, real hot, but then you get cold, and you get cold to the point your teeth are shattering and you're freezing. No matter what you do, you're cold, you know, and it's and your body aches so much. Like if your body aches, like if you were withdrawing from life. I would see people on heroin, and I'm like, damn, I'm going through this off of alcohol. It was crazy.
Yeah, people think that because it's alcohol, it's like, and it's legal, it's not that bad.
And you know how it is when we grew up. Like, it started with me with 40s, you know, little 40s here.
Old English.
You know, OEs. Not the St. Ides, man. That was the other one. It was OE 45. That was it.
I had the Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse! With the Indian, baby. Yo. Hell yeah. Crazy Horse with the 64. Remember the 34?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nah, but that's what started it.
Yeah.
That was my first. I first felt like it was weird. We were in Van Cortlandt, and we drank 240s each, and I drank 240 straight. I chugged them, and when I was walking home, brother, it's just I fell in love with that feeling. I wanted to keep feeling like that because I was trying to escape other things. You know what I'm saying? Like I was going through personal abuse and other things. So like, that was my escape. That was the way I didn't feel anything. You know, I was numb to everything.
So you can safely say that when you had your first 40 was when you noticed it? Like, when you noticed it was going to become...
I liked it, but then when I had like hard alcohol,
mm-hmm.
I already knew it. And then I didn't find out until like years later, like recently. My mother told me, she was like, your father used to really like his alcohol. He liked hard shit. And me, freaking, like, I grew up around all his, you know how it is, man. Freaking weekends, freaking we out. I grew up with all Dominicans first before Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican, but I grew up with more Dominicans. And it was freaking Brugal on the weekends, Mama Juana. Like, we was getting towed up, like, early, young. And, you know, my body just got used to that shit until freaking later on, so many years later, you start blacking out and your body just changes after everything. Like, it was a point that I went so many months without even remembering anything. You know, I would just black things out.
So what was you trying to hide from or run away from? Like,
or like every single time, like I told you with that whole time with the Giuliani, with the stop and frisk, I wanted to escape New York so bad. Like I was like, why am I stuck here? I'm gonna die here. Like, or I'm gonna die, or something's gonna happen to me in jail. Like I have to escape this madness. I was like, there has to be a better life for me. And this is the crazy shit. I moved to Massachusetts. I stood 20 years straight without being arrested. Never even stopped by a cop, nothing. Do you know what? It just felt like I went to a different planet once I got out of the city. Once I got out of that environment, but it gave me severe PTSD because when I go down there, all the times I would go visit my family, I'm like fucking, what was that? Like a fucking, I look like Pookie in the crack house, yo. It's crazy. Like, and I'm paranoid all the time when I'm out there because cops used to just roll me up and throw me up and slam me around and shit. You know, like it was bullshit, yo. I used to have to learn to, what I did was, everyone used to wear jeans and baggy jeans and everything. If you ever saw me towards before I moved up a little, you always saw me in khakis, button-down shirts, or V-neck sweater or something. I always looked like I was going to a club and I was going to the bodega. I don't give a fuck. It was just so I wouldn't get profiled and the cops wouldn't fuck with me. Mm-hmm. Because every single time I came out, and you know, it was the little ones from the block that made the block hotter. So every time we came outside, the cops would mess with us, and it was just like, "Are you kidding me?" Yo? Like, I'm on my way to work. Yeah, sure you are. Like, you know what I mean? You got any drugs on you? No. Yo, I would get arrested for a freaking 10 bag of weed. You know what I'm saying? A fucking a roach clip. Like, come on. Who the fuck does 4 days in jail for a roach? And now these little kids are standing there smoking weed in the street, rolling blunts and stuff. I'm like, you know, all the trauma people had to go through so you people could stand there and do that shit in the street like it's nothing? Fuck out of here.
Giuliani didn't give a shit when he passed that stop and frisk law. He didn't give a fuck about how it was going to affect people in 20 years. No.
And it was our own cops too. There was assholes too, like Hispanic and black cops too. Like, fuck out of here.
They had to do their job. You know what I'm saying?
No, they were giving them. It was always some quota shit. We always knew that. We were like, oh yeah, I didn't make your quota, right?
Yeah. They had to do their job.
You know,
it is what it is, bro. I mean, like, you wish it didn't happen, but you have to be like, yo, it happened. I understand why. It's not personal. They just had to do their job. You know, it is what it is. They were told, ordered, whatever way you want to say it, to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So let's go back to that heart attack, right? In February, right?
I actually thought it was an anxiety attack.
Yeah. Well, most people who go through the heart attacks think it's an anxiety attack, and they don't know until they get in.
Yeah, man. No, I was just like, yo, I can't breathe. It felt like I was on a trip, like I was running around the block, but I wasn't going nowhere. I was like, what the hell? Like my heart was beating mad fast. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, I just feel like mad anxious. I need some air. Yo, I'm going to go outside. And I was in one of my groups. Mm-hmm. And I went outside. They were like, yo, you feel all right? And I was like, yo, not really. I was like, I can't go walk to the hospital right now or whatever. They're like, we're gonna call you an ambulance. They called the ambulance. When the ambulance got me, they were like, yo, you're having a heart attack. I'm like, what? It was 2 days before my birthday.
Mm.
And I was before my 48th birthday, and I was like, dang, it's just woke me up.
So
Because it was a small, and you know what made that happen? A small relapse, and any relapse can kill you. People don't get it. Like, I was clean for a year and a half, and I just got to the point that I didn't think it was a problem anymore, and I had a little traumatic experience in my family and stuff, and loss of somebody, and it just set me back real quick. But that little quick, like all it took was 2 days of drinking, 2 days, just a little like binge drinking, and it caught up to me because my heart was so used to being better. I guess my body was used to being clean, and I put it in shock. Because if I was gonna drink, I was gonna drink hard. I'm not gonna have a couple of sips or whatever, you know. And I had a little way too much in 2 days, and it almost killed me.
So what motivated you to seek help? Like, what was it that happened to you that you was like, yo, I got to go get some help?
My children and my mom. You know what I mean? Mostly my kids. My son, really, that I have custody of, that I raised him by myself, and I'm his role model. So like, I gotta practice what I preach. I can't tell him to be doing stuff if I'm out here not living by my word, and I want him to be a man of his word. So, he's doing great so far, and everything just got more messed up with me with alcohol and him seeing it. He has his other parent is an alcoholic as well, so since it's only me in the picture, like, I have to be the positive one for him. I gotta lead by example. He's 17.
So was it something that happened that you was like, yeah, I gotta do this for him? Like, did he say something?
Yeah, my son just looked at me and he was like, I know you're hurting, Dad. He was like, I don't want to see you hurt no more. He was like, I love you. I need you. I need you in my life.
And that shit woke
I don't want
to
see. He's just like, I need you. And like, when him crying and just looking at me, he was holding my face. He's like, I need you in my life. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this to you. Like, if he's my world, I gotta show him he's my world. I can't freaking be selfish, And addiction makes you selfish. You don't think about anybody else but yourself.
No, because you're looking for the next one.
It's a vicious cycle. It's like we grew up in the environment, like, everything was always a celebration. Like, freaking, oh shit, it's a Sweet 16, let's drink. Oh shit, it's somebody's birthday, let's drink. Oh, for anything, especially Hispanics, man, and our culture is everywhere. Like, out here, everything is bars. I'm out in Massachusetts, and it's everything. Everywhere you go is alcohol. I want to go bowling. There's alcohol. Even I went to the movies with my kids, and there's alcohol everywhere. There's a bar right next to the movie theater. Like, It's bullshit, and it's legal. That's the crazy thing, and it's legal. They worry about so much stuff, but it's just so accessible to everyone.
Yes, and
that's what makes it horrible.
And nobody thinks about how dangerous it is, how harmful it is, because it's legal.
At all. Like, you lose so many people. You know what I mean? I lost a lot of friends. I lost one that he choked because he was in his sleep. He choked on his own vomit. You know, I had 8 procedures done to my throat due to this already because of my esophagus. I burned my whole esophagus out from alcohol.
Mm.
I had to have balloons put in my throat to open up my throat so I could eat, because I wasn't able to eat for 3 years. I had to freaking, everything had to be liquidated. If not, I would choke on anything.
Wow, for real?
Yeah, like if I would go to a barbecue or something, I'd be embarrassed. Like, I wouldn't want to eat in somebody's house or something because I would have to literally sit there and chew until everything was, because if one little speck I would start choking, I would have to run. And I would literally start choking. I'll turn freaking blue until I would cough whatever. I'll have to freaking throw up whatever the hell I was eating. It was bad.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Let me tell you, acid from your stomach, when they say acid, it is acid. That's real acid. When that comes up in the inside of your throat, it's the worst pain in the world. It's like, basically, you pictured your throat was an open wound and you pour rubbing alcohol on your throat. That's what it feels like.
Mm.
Literally, and then you choke. It's bad. It's bad.
Mm.
It leads to gout and all that. Not gout. What the hell is that shit? Oh, damn. I forgot what it's called. It's a certain disease you get in your throat.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
That's from bile and all that stomach acid. Oh, it's horrible.
Mm.
It burned my entire lining of my esophagus. So.
So what challenges do you face still?
What challenges do I face?
Yeah.
Man, every day is a challenge and every day is a blessing. Like, I look at it like every day I gotta fight this, and it's a demon every day. But I gotta be stronger than that. It's just so hard when it's everywhere you go. Anything I want to do, it's everywhere. So that's just the thing that makes it difficult. Then it's like times of season and stuff. Like now the holidays are coming up. That's usually like, it's weird. I thought that the summer would be easier, and then I was straight. I was like fishing with my friend, and then I said, wait, damn, man, fishing goes good with beer. I was like, nah, I don't need no beer. We got to get some lemonade, or we got to do something else, because, you know, I just wanted to switch it up.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I learned different ways to move with it. But, like, then the holidays come, and you know us. Oh, coquito, oh, this and that. Like, oh, it's cold, yo, I take some shots of rum, you know, but my mind has to switch. It's all about trying to change, you know, and stay around positive people. All I'm trying to do is get to as many meetings as I can.
And I'm assuming that your family helps in a certain way, because like when they throw parties, they're not having alcohol there for you, right?
This is the thing. I'm far away from my family.
Yes.
I'm not the only family that I have here doesn't indulge in alcohol. They're my kids. So all my stepchildren in Massachusetts. The rest of my family that lives in New York and everywhere else, they're far away from me, so I don't have to be around all that. But it's just like co-workers that I go, or people that I go around. They go to bars, they go bowling, they go play pool, you know. So I turned into a homebody, really. I work a lot. So my whole thing is work, take care of my son, and try to go to meetings. Like I got tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, I go to IOP. I go to these meetings. It's around other addicts, and we all help each other. You know, we share experiences and talk to each other, and try to help each other, support each other and stuff. So I do that 3 times a week, and then I work the rest of the week. That's all I can do to keep my head off of stuff.
And that's good. You gotta keep doing that. I'm gonna ask a strange question.
Relapse is real, and it's so real for so many people out there. I want to say, anybody, don't ever feel like you failed. You learn from your relapse. You never blame yourself or put yourself down. You kick yourself down. You get yourself up, because if you're alive, it's a blessing that day. You just got to learn from your mistake. What did I do wrong?
Mhm.
Try to retrack and not to do it again. And that's it. That's all I can say to anybody.
That's true. I'm gonna ask you a weird question. What was the worst episode you ever had?
Drinking?
Yeah, unless you got something else.
Shit, man.
Like, which one pops into your mind and you're like, what the fuck? What was I doing? Why? What was I thinking to go through this shit?
When I got hit by a van. I got hit by a commercial van. The dude's going like 65 miles an hour, ran the red light. I bounced off the van and ended up in the other lane. And oncoming traffic was coming, and a cab came, and she parked so that nobody would hit me. Yeah. Because if you were coming around the corner, you wouldn't see me.
Oh.
And so she put her car to block me off and to stay there and make sure that the ambulance came. And then there was no trauma unit back then where I lived. They had to take me to another state. They had to take me to Providence.
Oof.
So I woke up in Providence, my whole face purple, my whole left side was purple, and I was screaming. All I kept screaming was my legs, and I didn't know where I was at or whatever. And it was because I was a maintenance man in a bar. I worked in a bar, and I had finished my route, whatever. And when you finish your thing, you're allowed one drink if you want at the bar when you're off the clock. So I had my one drink. Of course, a Long Island. And then some veterans that I know came, and they were like, hey, yo, we'll buy you some drinks, whatever. And I had maybe a little bit too much, a couple of more. And then all I was thinking was, I'm going to go home and I'm going to go grab my kids some sandwiches at this deli. I ordered the sandwiches. I was crossing the street, and just when I got on my bike to cross the street, the car just came and zoomed and hit me. And the thing that I could remember was, after everything in the hospital, they checked my alcohol level. And the only thing that they didn't blame me in the case or whatever was because the guy was driving on a prior hit and run on a suspended license. Mm-hmm. He had hit somebody before. Mm-hmm. So when he hit me, he was running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but they checked my alcohol level, and they were like, oh, but you were under the influence. I said, what the fuck does that have to do? Like, I didn't cross the street, and I wasn't in the wrong. He ran the red light. The only thing that saved me was that I had 3 witnesses. And they all said that the guy just ran through and never stopped. He just never took his foot off the pedal. He just ran right through me like nothing.
Damn.
So it took me like a year to walk again, and it was just bad. Then everything was internal, no real like breaking of anything, but it took so much more to heal regardless. It was just bad. And how did I heal? Shit, I'm stuck at home. I can't work. I gotta wait for a lawsuit, and I'm drinking. You know, it was right, and I was just so lucky I was alive when I was in the hospital, and all I kept thinking was, where am I? And they were like, you're in Providence. I was like, Providence? All I'm thinking about is my kids. I was like, how am I gonna get home? Like, it was bad. And that changed me. That and just being a single parent, because I don't want to see my son suffer more.
And you do know that your son needs a father.
Huh?
And you know that your son needs a father. A father.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm both parents, so he needs me more than anything. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
So, So February was the last time you relapsed?
Always, yeah.
And what are any other strategies other than going to your meetings and stuff has helped you to prevent that relapse?
You know what's crazy is actually being around other people that suffer from the same thing isn't is bad. It's like I don't know, sometimes your family or like people that are close to you can be the people that can make you relapse even more through being judgmental and not understanding. You know, they'll just tell you, oh, well, you go back and you'll go do the same shit again and throw it in your head when it's not even in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Or just say negative things instead. When if you're trying to be around somebody that's supportive and the same positive things, it's good. But it could also backfire as well, you know, because two negatives don't equal a positive, you know?
Yeah.
It could go either way. Like I like to try to go and meet people at my meetings and things. We go to another place, peer to peer, Fall River. It's really good too.
So what advice would you give someone who's going through the same thing you are? Example, people from your meetings. What advice would you give them?
Anybody that, if you feel that you have no control over it and you know it, I mean, we're all in denial. Any person is always in denial. You sit there and say, no, I don't have a problem, whatever, but you yourself know you have a problem and you're tired of being sick and tired. Try to detox yourself and get everything out of your system. And once you do that, try to find a good support team and to try to stay that way. Try to stay clean. That's the best advice I could give, you know, like it's just that and the people that are around you too, like your family, you got to try to see if you can get forgiveness. And if they don't forgive you right away, hey, you have to push on for yourself and try to make things right for yourself before you could do anything for anyone else. You know, try to put yourself around positive people that are going to support you. And if not, then you have to be the strongest person yourself. You know, it's rough. It's an everyday struggle. People don't think it is. And it's so quick. It's like a light switch. You could not think about it and you could feel a certain way like, oh, I'm good. And I went over a year straight, didn't think about it or nothing. And then somebody just set me off on like, and it's quick, especially when that's all you know. It could be something tragic. It could be something that makes you angry. It could be anything, you know. Especially when you suffer from. That's the thing that other people. Before I get off, there's two things that I wanted to touch on.
Go ahead.
A lot of things go back from mental health. Like people don't understand. There's trauma. There's people that are addicts. Their parents had trauma. They had trauma. Their trauma. It goes on. There's certain ways you don't see it. We don't know what the hell our parents went through. They don't tell us everything. But there is some bit of them that has, some of them that have had some bit of traumatic experience in their life that makes them hard with us a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know shit. I got my ass tore up with a belt, and some people would be like, "Oh my God, I never hit my child. What are you doing?" Like, I don't hit my kid, but that doesn't mean I didn't get my ass kicked neither. You know what I mean?
True.
It just you know that people that go through all this all this trauma, they find different ways to escape them. That's what I feel more than anything. Things come, most of alcohol addiction and things come from something traumatic that happened in their past, and that they need to always look for that. That's someone's only escape. If there's no person that ever just became an alcoholic and felt like it. Someone always escaped something.
Yeah, you just gotta find out what that is, what they're escaping, what they're trying to escape.
Exactly. My brother, thank you for having me so much, yo. I gotta go pick up somebody right now.
No problem. Thank you very much for sharing your story. You know, if you ever want to come back on and just vent, talk more, share your story, educate more people, you're more than welcome. Okay?
Yeah, man. No doubt.
All right. Well, this is Double A Club. Signing out. You can catch us on Spotify, Iheart Radio, and Amazon Music. Say goodbye to my good friend Jay.
Yo, peace out, everybody. And everybody that's fighting and struggling, keep fighting. The struggle ain't over.